In a small town nestled between rolling green hills, there lived a man named Hiroshi. He was an old shopkeeper, quiet and reserved, but kind-hearted. He ran a little tea shop, where villagers would gather to enjoy his warm, fragrant teas and listen to his wise words. One cold evening, as Hiroshi was closing his shop, he noticed a young boy standing outside, shivering in the chilly wind. His clothes were tattered, and his eyes held a sadness too deep for his years. Hiroshi felt a pang in his heart. He stepped outside and gently placed a warm cup of tea into the boy's small hands. "Come inside, child," he said softly. "You look cold." The boy hesitated, but the warmth of the tea against his fingers reassured him. He stepped into the shop, his eyes darting around nervously. Hiroshi smiled and set down a bowl of steaming rice before him. "Eat," he said simply. Tears welled up in the boy's eyes. "Why are you helping me?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Hiroshi chuckled. "Because kindness, my child, is like the ripples in a pond. A single act can spread far and wide." The boy, named Kenji, had been orphaned by a recent illness that swept through the village. Left alone with no home, he had been wandering the streets, hoping for a miracle. And that night, Hiroshi became his miracle. Over the next few weeks, Hiroshi taught Kenji how to prepare tea, sweep the floors, and greet customers with a smile. In return, Kenji helped around the shop, eager to repay the old man's kindness. Slowly, the boy began to heal not just his hunger, but his heart as well. One evening, a wealthy merchant entered the tea shop, weary from his travels. As Kenji served him tea, he noticed a man's tired eyes. He remembered how Hiroshi had once given him warmth and comfort. So he offered the man an extra cup of tea, with a kind smile. "Please, sir, rest for a while," Kenji said. The merchant was taken aback. In his travels, he had seen much of the world, but such simple kindness was rare. He finished his tea, paid generously, and thanked the boy. Days later, the merchant returned with an offer. "Old man, your tea is the finest I have ever tasted, and your young apprentice has a heart full of gold. I would like to help you expand this shop so more people can experience your kindness." Hiroshi smiled, his eyes twinkling with gratitude. "That is very generous of you," he said. "But kindness cannot be measured in gold." The merchant nodded. "True, but kindness should also be shared. With a larger shop, you can help more people, just as you helped this boy." And so the little tea shop grew. More villagers and travelers came, not just for the tea, but for the warmth they felt in that place. The kindness Hiroshi had shown to one boy had created ripples that spread far beyond what he had ever imagined. Years passed, and Kenji grew into a fine young man. He continued Hiroshi's legacy, making sure no one left the shop hungry or alone. And as the ripples of kindness spread, the small town became known as a place where strangers became family and where a single act of compassion could change a life. Kindness is never wasted. A simple act, a warm meal, a smile, a listening ear, can create ripples that travel far beyond what we see. In a world where everyone is fighting their own battles, a little kindness can be the light that leads someone out of darkness. Like Hiroshi's tea shop, let our lives be a place where warmth and compassion are always served.